Okay, so for today, we are doing two recipes, but they're both very simple. So I don't think we're gonna have any problems going back and forth between them. We're going to start off by doing English muffin pizzas, which is something I'm really excited to make. This is something that I grew up making a lot with my grandfather. So I really love this recipe. They're very simple, very good. And then to go with that, we're going to do a Caesar salad, but we're making our own dressing. So that's going to be the big thing with the Caesar salad, is the homemade dressing, because I don't necessarily want to put the salad together just in case people aren't eating it now. So we're going to go through the steps of everything that we'd have to do, but the big part of that is the homemade dressing. So that'll be really good too. But we're going to get started with the pizzas first, just because those will have to go in the oven. So we're going to want to preheat our ovens to 400 degrees. That's what we're going to do first. And then we're going to need a large baking sheet. And I believe the recipe says parchment lined. This is one scenario in which I don't usually line my baking sheet, and we'll get to that in a second as we start to go through the pizzas. So the first thing we're going to want to do in terms of our pizzas is we're just going to need to separate all our English muffins. So we're going to use the whole container. And then for me, I've always found the easiest way to do these is to grab a fork, and you'll see all the English muffins, they are sealed together, but you can kind of see where they should split. So I like to just take a fork and kind of follow that line and just insert it all along the edge on that line down the middle. And then they usually split apart very easily after that, which is nice. Sometimes if you just try to take your hands and split them, then they won't come off. They won't split evenly. So for this, and you'll see they just kind of fall apart in half after that. So I'm just going to leave those on my cutting board, and we're going to do that with all of our English muffins. I'm going to just keep putting that fork right in the middle and just going around the whole thing. And if some of them do kind of come out uneven, that's okay. They'll still be able to get used. I'm on my last one. The nice thing about this recipe too is there's not really any measurements. So you kind of just get to do everything to taste and what looks good to you. So it's very relaxed, easy, and fun because of that, because it's not as serious with all the measurements. All right. Just gonna get rid of these crumbs here. And I usually like to keep the English muffin container around and just kind of use that as like my garbage. And then I'll eventually throw everything in there out. But it's just nice to have a little garbage bin nearby. So once everyone has their English muffins split, give me a thumbs up and we will go on. Looks like almost everyone's all good. Right, looks like we're all good. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my trick. Well, this is like my grandfather's trick, actually, not mine. So we would always use a non-lined pan. So then we would take olive oil and he would drizzle it all over the pan like that. And then in order for the English muffins to not stick, but to also get kind of toasty and crispy, we would take each half and then you kind of swirl it around on both sides in the pan and then just put it to the side. So it gets each muffin toast covered in oil. And then the pan is also non-stick from the oil too, although most pans are non-stick nowadays, but you get my gist. And then if you start to run out of oil, you can just add a little more to what's open. But I remember as a kid, this was something that I really enjoyed doing. This part was very fun to me. So I figured that would be nice to pass along. So we just coat both sides of every muffin. And you will probably have to redo your oil at least a couple times. Spots that still have some too. All right. And then once everyone's good with the oil, just give me another thumbs up. Looks like we're all pretty good. So now we get to our customization part. Well, not just yet, but we're getting there. So now we're going to do our sauce. You can use any jarred sauce, any like homemade sauce, anything you have. I just have a jar of pizza sauce that I got at the store. So I would probably start with like a nice heaping spoon. I realize you can't see that one. There we go. And then just kind of use the back of the spoon to spread it out. I would say probably 1 to 2 per muffin, depending on obviously how much. If you like them extra saucy, you can add more. Or if you don't like a lot of sauce, you can add less. Because it'll all go into the nooks and crannies of the English muffins too. So just spread it out to almost the edge. That one has a little too much, I think. Depending on the size of your jar of sauce, I might go through this whole jar, I'm not sure, but wasn't a huge jar. And again, this is very customizable. So if you prefer like white pizza, you don't have to put sauce on it. Or you could do like an Alfredo sauce. You could do pesto sauce. Whatever your favorite kind of pizza is, you can make with these, which is nice. Okay, those look pretty good to me. Maybe that one could use a tiny bit more. Okay. All right. So once everyone is all good with the sauce, another thumbs up, and we'll keep on going. Looks like everyone's chugging along. Very nice. Okay, so now, does anyone need any more time before we keep going? No. Okay, we're good. Now we're just gonna sprinkle some Italian seasoning onto each one. I have this aglio olio seasoning from Trader Joe's that I really like, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of that on each one. Depending on what sauce you use too, that may already have some seasoning in it, but just a little bit. And then from there, we can get our cheese. So we're gonna go in with some shredded mozzarella. I'm just gonna take a little handful for each one. Again, whatever your heart desires, you can do a lot, you can do a little, you could do none. Or if you have dairy-free or vegan cheese, that works great here too. I know they make a lot of different mozzarella ones that melt really well and everything. evening it all out. Looks pretty good. And then once you got all your cheese on, one more thumbs up and we're almost there. All right. Does anyone need any more time? Or are we all doing okay? Perfect. I see some people taking snacks too. This is a great recipe to snack on while we make it. I love to see it. Okay, so this is really where your creativity and customization comes in. If you want to add any toppings, this is now is the time to do it. You can do whatever you want. I actually have some leftover turkey pepperoni from that hot honey pizza pasta salad that we made a couple months ago that I have to use up. So I'm gonna do pepperoni on a couple of them, maybe half. Um, but like any of your favorite pizza toppings would go great on here. When I was little, my family used to like black olives on pizza, so we would always do black olives on some of them. What else would we do? Sometimes we would do mushrooms. Sometimes we would do onion. If you had some basil lying around, you could put that on there. I'm going to do pepperoni on half of them. And then I'm also just going to grab some Parmesan and sprinkle a little bit of that on each of them too. Just because I love Parmesan. And a little Parmesan can never hurt. All right, that looks good. Perfect. My oven is not heated up just yet, but it's almost there. And then we'll be good to put those in the oven. Ooh, Milagros and Haria, those look really good. Does anyone else have finished ones they want to show? Kristen, those look really good too. Oh, I see Teddy's. Awesome. My oven's good now. Okay. So now once all of our toppings are on, we're good to put them in the oven. Does anyone need any more time for their toppings? I see a couple people still finishing up, so we can wait a sec because then this class, we probably are going to be able to take everything out of the oven together because we're doing the salad while these bake. And they only need 10 minutes, so we should be done with our we're almost done with our dressing and whatnot when those come out. So we can do our picture with our fully finished recipe this time, which will be good. Once we're all good on toppings, just let me know and then we can put everything in the oven together. I'm just tidying up a little bit so that we have a nice clean setup in front of me for our salad. There's one thing my dad ever taught me, was to clean as you go, and I learned that the hard way when I didn't listen. And now I do it. And while we hang on to put everything in the oven, if you don't have your Caesar salad ingredients out, you can go ahead and get those out now. All right. Are we all good to put in the oven now? Okay. So we're gonna put our pizzas into the oven, making sure we use oven mitts so that we um are careful in there because it is pretty hot. And then we're gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. So once everyone's got their timer all set and the pizzas are in the oven, thumbs up, and we will start working on our Caesar salad. All right. Okay, so switching over to the salad, I am going to jump ahead a little bit just because I want to make the dressing first, but we're still going to do all the other steps also. So we're going to start on step 6, which is the dressing. I like to make it in a liquid measuring cup because you can kind of we have to measure the olive oil first so that we can measure it in here and then add stuff to it. So I just have a little one of those with me. And we need a 1/3 cup of olive oil. So I'm just going to pour it right into there. And this is what I like to call my lazy Caesar dressing. It's not lazy or um by nature. It's just it's not traditional per se. A traditional Caesar or a Caesar dressing um done properly is raw egg yolk whisked with anchovies and a lot of the same ingredients that we're using, but it's a little more complicated to do that. And I know anchovies aren't the best flavor for everyone, and sometimes we don't like to use raw egg yolk. So this is a little bit way of a way around that. So that's why I call it quote unquote lazy. But it's very easy to like make on a weeknight or something like that. So I like to do this a lot. So then we need 2 tablespoons of mayo. So I'm just gonna get, and the other thing that I like about doing it in all in a liquid measuring cup like this too, sometimes with um measuring spoons and whatnot, things get stuck in there and it's hard to get everything out. So what I like to do, at least at first, I can't do this every time once you start adding other ingredients, but I just dip my measuring spoon into the olive oil, because then whatever goes in there is going to slide right out after. So that's 1 tablespoon. Look, and look at that. Easy, just came right out. That's also, if you're ever making something that has oil and you are adding honey, that works really, really well with honey too, because honey can be a pain to get out of there sometimes. So then once you got your mayo measured and into the olive oil, just give me a thumbs up. I'm struggling to open my mustard, which happens to me every time I have to open this one. Okay. All right. Now we need the same amount, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. I'm gonna say we should start with 1 tablespoon, and then you can always add more. And now I do have to just take off that excess olive oil because I'm going to dip this into my mustard container. So again, that only really works once, but so I'm just taking my tablespoon and scooping it into my mustard jar. So the recipe does call for 2 tablespoons, but I'm thinking we should start with 1, and then after we mix it, we can taste. And then if you feel that it needs a little more tang, you could add more mustard and go from there. Yes, that's a great question. Soy sauce, you could absolutely sub that for if you don't have Worcestershire. Soy sauce would be a good substitute. I would just start I mean, we're not using a lot of the Worcestershire anyway because it's just a little dash, but so just do a small dash of that too for that, and that should be good. Is everyone all good on their mustard? Perfect. Okay, so now we need 1 clove of garlic. You can either, if you have a garlic press, you can press it. You can mince it if you want. I like to grate it. That just seems to be the easiest way to get it. Trying to find a good clove. Right, this looks like this might be my, no, that's not good. That one's pretty good. So I have one of the microplanes. I like to use this. If you have any other grater, that works just fine too. Or sometimes if I'm really in a pinch, they sell cubes of crushed garlic that are frozen, and I really love those when I don't feel like doing this. Those are really good. So I usually just like if I'm using those, I just microwave them in the oven, I microwave them for like 15 seconds. Here, actually, I can show. Yeah. It's these crushed garlic, and then each cube is 1 clove. So those are really convenient. I love them. So that's a nice little way to do that too. So I'm just peeling this clove of garlic. Normally I would cut off the root end, but I'm going to use that to hold it. So that's why I'm leaving that on. There we go. Okay. So then to do this, I usually just hold the microplane over and then carefully just go back and forth to go through the whole clove, and just watch out for your fingers. And that's why I like to keep the root end on. It just has a little more grip to it. And once you get to like like at that point, oh, I have a little here I could do, and then I'll call it quits. Then you can just tap it out. Sometimes some of it is going to get stuck on the inside, so you can carefully get that out of there, but it's not, or it shouldn't be super sharp on the, it should not be sharp on the inside at all. So you can put your finger in there, but just make sure you're careful. And then just get it in there's some on the side here too. Right. Gonna wash my hands quick. My pizzas are smelling very good, and it's making me quite hungry. Is everyone all good with their garlic? Perfect. Now we're gonna do the dash of Worcestershire. Again, you can use soy if you don't have Worcestershire, if you don't, or if you can't have it. So I'm just gonna go a little dash like that, maybe a little more. That you can also, if you don't have soy sauce on hand, you can, and you don't want to use Worcestershire, or you can't, you can also fully omit that. That's not going to be like crazy different taste without it. And now for lemon juice. Oh, my timer is going off. My oven's singing. So I'm going to pause for a sec and check on my pizzas. Here, let me grab them and show you. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put them in for a little bit longer. They look like this right now, which is good. They're good, but I like my cheese to be a little more crispy or toasted. So I'm gonna put them back in I'm gonna do 3 minutes to start. And then we'll see how that looks. So if anyone else's timer just went off, probably something along those lines, just check on those if you think they need more time. Great question. Is the Worcestershire and the Parmesan providing all the salt? Yep, that's exactly the case. So we're not really adding salt to this because of that. If you taste it and it's not salty enough for you, you can always add some salt after, but I would recommend waiting and trying it and seeing if that's good enough, because the Worcestershire, and or if you're using soy, that's going to have some salt in it too. That's a very good question. Okay. Is everyone okay with their pizzas? Okay, so now we have to do the lemon juice for the dressing. I believe I showed this trick before, but this is now how I get lemon juice all the time now, so I love showing it. And I think I might have said this the first time, but I learned this in a cooking class, and I'll never cut a lemon this any other way. So normally we would just like cut it in half and squeeze it that way. But I was taught, so you find the center and you're gonna cut lengthwise just off the center. So you have a nice half moon there. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you have these two really nice pieces of lemon that are gonna like, I don't know why, but it just makes more juice. And then that middle piece you cut to get a wedge. And then on the other side, make another wedge. And they all just make so much juice. I don't know the rhyme or reason to it, but it works. All right, so this is saying 2 tablespoons. Usually I would say like half a lemon is going to get you, I mean, depending on how much, 1 to 2 tablespoons. I'm not really going to, actually, here, I'll do this. I'm going to get a ramekin just because I'm curious how much it's going to make. And just going to squeeze all of those lemon segments into there. If you have any seeds, they'll come out when you squeeze, or if they're easy enough to grab before that, you can do that. But then this will also catch any of the seeds, so that's why it's good to put it in a separate container first. I'm just gonna grab that out. Check on my pizzas again. It looked like they still need a little more, so I'm just gonna keep my eye on those. You can even take this middle piece too that's left after all the cuts and try and get some juice out of that too, because honestly, that just gave a good amount. All right, and then from there, I'm just gonna take my tablespoon is dirty, but it's all right. Just gonna measure 2 tablespoons and pour that right into our dressing. So that whole lemon gave us, or it gave me a little more than 2 tablespoons. And I feel like if I had not cut it that way, it probably would not have made that much. So that is my fun little trick that I like to do. All right, and then the last thing we're gonna add before we whisk it first is just some fresh black pepper. So you can just do as much or as little as you'd like. I love fresh black pepper in Caesar dressing, so I tend to go a little bit of a heavy hand. And then once everyone has everything in there, give me a thumbs up. We are almost there. We're not adding the Parmesan just yet. We're gonna whisk it first, and then we're gonna put the Parmesan in. Um, I didn't give a measurement for that. I would say I usually do around a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more, but that is another thing that you could do to your heart's desire. So now we're just gonna take a whisk and whisk that all together. And you'll see it'll start to form a nice thick, like yellowy consistency. And it'll start to look like a creamy dressing, which is exactly what we're going for. So now it's like that kind of pale yellow color. I'm just gonna give it a little taste now just to see if there's anything I want to add. That's pretty good to me. So after you whisk a little bit, you can add Parmesan in. Like I said, I usually do like a heaping tablespoon, but I might do a little more. And then you just whisk again. I'll taste one more time. Mm, very good. Mm. All right, I'm gonna set that aside and check on my pizzas one last time. Hopefully they're good. Perfect. I'll show you guys. This is what my pizzas came out to look like. I like them a little crispy. I am leaving my oven on just because we are gonna do some quick croutons for the salad. And then they can just go right in there. All right, so once everyone is all set with your dressing, just give me another thumbs up and we'll do perfect. Looks like everyone's good. Um, okay, so just grab my cutting board. All right, so we're gonna chop some lettuce first. I have some romaine. Just taking off the icky part. So for me personally, when I make a salad, I usually like everything to be kind of small and bite-sized. I feel like it's a little bit easier to eat that way. So I like to make almost like a shredded kind of consistency with the lettuce. So for that, what I usually do, here, let me just, oh, part of this is not good. Gotta cut off the bat. So I have the whole romaine heart together on my cutting board. And I'll take my knife and I'll go down the middle and cut just like that. And then I'll turn it over and do the same thing. So it's kind of like I have 4/4 of it now. And it's still held together by the end, so it'll all stay together, which is nice. And then I just slice down close together, so then it makes these like thin shreds. If you want bigger pieces of lettuce, then you can go and cut like this big. And then that'll be more, and those that would still be bite-sized too. I like the shredded consistency just for my taste. And then I find that it's easier if you wanted to like put the lettuce into a wrap or something like that. It works well. But again, whatever is the desired consistency. And I'm just gonna put that all in a bowl. Like I said, we're kind of gonna we're gonna have all the components of the salad be ready. And if you're gonna eat it right now, then you can go ahead and put the dressing on it and mix everything together. But if you're not, I'd say wait until you eat to add the dressing so then it doesn't get all soggy. The dressing will also last in the fridge for like, I'd say a week. So even if you don't want to have the salad today, you can save it for another time later in the week. So when everyone's good on their lettuce, just give me one more thumbs up and then we'll do some quick croutons and I'll let you guys go for today. Obviously, you can also always buy croutons, but I always have some form of bread in the fridge, so I love to just do it at home because it is pretty easy too. Okay, looks like everyone's good. So any kind of bread that you have, I always have this, it's like a seeded multi-grain kind of bread. So, and the end pieces that look like this, I usually don't use them for anything because they're kind of small and they're kind of oddly shaped. So you can't really like make a sandwich with it or anything. So I always like to use those in situations like this and like a little bit of the smaller pieces. So I'm at least going to use both ends. So if you're like me and you never would really use it anyway, it's a good way to get some use out of that part of the bread. So I have 3 pieces right now. I'll see how much that makes. I'm just gonna cut them into little strips, and then those strips will become cubes. And then I'm gonna make those a little smaller. That's just my preference. Again, I like small bites in salad. So just to go through that again, I'm going to take each slice of bread and make them into strips. And then once I have my strips, I'm going to turn those around and then cut those into cubes. And then those cubes will become our croutons. Do that with my last piece here. Okay, so once everyone has their little cubes of bread ready, give me one more thumbs up. In the meantime, you can take the cubes and just put them into a small bowl because we're going to just put a little bit of seasoning and whatnot on them. All right, is everyone all set? Okay, cool. So now we have our bread cubes in our bowl. We're just gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of pepper, and then instead of salt, since we're making these for a Caesar salad, we do a little bit of Parmesan. And just kind of toss those around. And use your hands too. Let me just rinse quick. All right, and then just one more thumbs up when you're all set with that. And we have one more step and we're good to go. Okay, so I just got out a small sheet pan and I will line this one. And you can just take your croutons and put them on there. Make sure they're all spread out and on in like one layer. So that way they all get nice and toasted. And then, like I said, I left my oven on, so they'll be in there at 400. I would say maybe 5 minutes and then check on them, see, but they won't need that long. So I'm just going to put those in really quick. I'm going to set a 5-minute timer. And then once those come out, you have all your components ready. So whenever you make your salad, you can add your croutons to the bowl. You can add any kind of protein, chicken, shrimp, steak, whatever it is that you like. You can add some protein to it to make it a little more filling. And then, like I said, the dressing is also going to last for probably like a week. So you don't have to use it today. You just might need, I would say, because of the oil in it, it's probably going to get kind of not hard, but more congealed in the fridge. So when you want to use it, if you're not using it immediately, you just want to take it out a couple, like maybe 30 minutes before you're going to use it, and then give it a little stir, and it should be good to go. Is there any questions at all before we finish today about the pizzas or the salad? Okay. So then before we go, I would love to take a photo. You can do it. You can hold your pizzas up. You can hold your salad up, whatever you want. I'm going to hold my pizzas because those are my favorite. So we'll give everyone a sec to get ready. Oh, my pan isn't even hot anymore. Perfect. All right, I'm going to count us down, okay? All right. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Perfect. All right. If there's no questions, um, Thank you all for joining today. I hope you had a great time and you liked the recipes. Like I said, next class is going to be, what was it, October, it's the first Sunday in October. I can't keep it straight. October 5th. So keep an eye out on the Eventbrite. Everything will be sent out tomorrow in terms of the follow-up with the recipe and the video and all that stuff. So thank you guys so much. I hope you had a great day or have a great rest of your day. And I hope you had a great time cooking. Thanks for coming. Bye.